Hey guys, welcome to Koh Samui, the island that has it all, from beautiful untouched beaches to beautiful not so untouched beaches, from amazing food to some pretty amazing places to eat that food. And then you have the nightlife, of course. In this video we will take you to both the best beach clubs and the best nightclubs. And of course I will take you around the island to show you some of the best places you can visit, including some pretty cool activities as well. All in all, basically what you can expect of a 3 to 4 day visit to this amazing island. And as a bonus at the end, we will go hunting for the secret White Lotus beach. And for those of you who have no idea what I'm talking about, this is actually the place where they filmed the 3rd season of the best show on TV, The White Lotus on HBO Max. So let's get right to it. As you probably know, Koh Samui is located about an hour's flight south of Bangkok. It's a relatively large island, so there are a few places you can choose to stay. But most likely you will stay at one of these 3 places. In this video we will stop by both Chaweng and Phuket. But let's first have a little look at Chaweng, which is the biggest place on the island and the place you're probably most likely to stay if this is your first visit. So, Chaweng is located along a 7 kilometers long beautiful beach, with resorts lined up side by side all along it. So if you come here for the beach life, I don't think you will be disappointed, because this beach has everything you can expect. From a variety of water sports activities, to the odd snacks and other food you can pick up on the beach, and of course there are a lot of restaurants and bars all along it. But if you think this looks a little bit crowded, it's because it's filmed at the most busy part of the beach, which is just down from the central Samui shopping mall, which we'll get back to a little bit later. But no worries, if you want a little bit more peace and quiet, you can just do what I did, book a place a little bit outside this most busy area. Out here, the beach is still very nice, but the atmosphere is much more relaxed. By the way, hotel review at the end of the video. For me though, that's not really a beach person. I normally just use the beach for a little stroll from my hotel and in towards the busy area late in the afternoon, after having been out exploring the island all day. And I guess from this side, the busy area starts from around the Arc Bar. And you know there's absolutely nothing wrong with a 99 baht pina colada and an ice cream after a busy day. So let's then check out what happens at Chaweng in the evening. Behind all the resorts there's a main road, and the most busy and lively part of this main road, I guess you can say, is from the central Samui shopping mall to around the market stalls. This is where most of the tourists end up when they search for their food, drinks and entertainment in the evening. And what you will definitely notice when you're here is the large selection of delicious looking fresh seafood on display. But no worries, if you're not that into seafood, there's plenty of other things to choose from as well. And barbecue is also something they are definitely specializing in on this strip. For me, I did have dinner on this strip twice during my stay, because I really wanted to sink my teeth into one of these big lobsters, and it didn't disappoint. I also ate at this backward walking restaurant where I had a deep fried prawns. And I think actually both of these dishes were surprisingly good, considering that this is a typical tourist area. And if you just want a little snack, I can definitely recommend a banana pancake from one of these outside stalls. So what else can you do in Chaweng in the evening? Well, they have a ladyboy cabaret show, which is of course something that everybody should experience at least once in their lifetime. And if you feel like a bit more masculine entertainment, they have a Thai boxing stadium close by. Then of course you have the shopping, and Chaweng has a very modern shopping center called Central Samui. And this shopping center is actually much larger than the front facing out towards the main street. So if you want to do some big city shopping in a tropical island, this is the place to go. Outside the center there's always some kind of activity or performance or something going on. In the other end of the busy part of the main street you will find some typical tourist market stalls. Here you can pick up some cheap clothing, some souvenirs and some questionable art. In the main street you will also find a lot of specialty shops and of course a lot of massage places. And Chaweng has great nightlife, but we'll get back to that a little later in the video. Let's first go and explore the island. And this time I had actually rented myself a car for the first time ever in Thailand. Ready for my first drive in my rental. Driving with the wheel on the right side is not what I'm used to, so wish me luck. Yeah, I'm not gonna lie, the first little drive from the airport to my hotel on the left side of the road was a little bit sketchy, but it didn't take long before I got the hang of it. So on my first full day here, I wanted to explore the southern part of the island, which has a really interesting mountain range that has a lot to offer. And first I wanted to stop by the two overlap stones, which are basically huge rocks that for some mysterious reason has ended up like this. So to get up here you have to get off the highway and onto these a little bit more narrow mountain roads.
Turn left.
Turn left.
And at stone number 1 there's a very small parking lot, but since I was there quite early I did find a space. The entrance fee is 200 baht and that includes one drink. And with regard to safety, this might not be the place for small children. And even adults should probably be a little bit careful when they walk up here.
Okay. Be careful. Woohoo! Oh shit. Okay.
But don't worry, if you're a little bit scared of heights, you can also enjoy the view from a safe distance. So except for the stone itself and the nice view, there's not much else to see here at overlap stone number 1. Except for this observation deck where you can sit and relax and enjoy your free drink. And I must admit, when I was sitting here I was wondering if it was worth going up to overlap stone number 2, which I thought was probably just the same, but I'm really glad I didn't skip it. And by the way, stone number 2 is just up here, which is just a couple of 100 meters up a really steep road.
Very steep up to the overlap stone 2.
And when you get there it's quite obvious that you can't really drive any further. And here as well, they have a little space to park your car or your bike.
So I managed to park the car in the end.
From the parking lot it's about a 15 minutes walk up to the entrance. And I realized too late that the entrance fee of 200 baht actually included transport as well. But I'm not quite sure how that works though. Anyway, I was really surprised when I entered and realized they had a restaurant with this amazing view. The area around the stone itself is a little bit more developed than for stone number 1, including this really cool hand that's perfect for selfies. If you want to go all the way out to the stone, you have to cross this little bridge. So here as well, you have to be a little bit careful. Another cool thing about this place is this observation deck, which has a lot of these small installations, which I guess are put there for you to take that perfect photo. So, next on my agenda this day was a visit to the two NaMuang Waterfalls. And parking at waterfall number 1 is definitely no problem.
plenty of parking here. Nos problemos a todos.
Unfortunately though, the first thing that meets you when you step out of your car at this parking lot are these elephants meant for riding. And as you probably know, you should stay away from any elephant riding in Thailand or any other place for that matter. I will shortly show you a much better place you can visit if you want to get up and close with elephants. Anyway, from the parking lot and up to the waterfall it's just a couple of minutes walk, and on the way you can pick up some souvenirs or some snacks. And the waterfall itself is really beautiful and the perfect place to go for a little relaxing and refreshing dip. Right next to the waterfall there is an area with some really beautiful nature that you can explore on your own. So to get to NaMuang Waterfall number 2, you actually have to go all the way down to the main road again and up to another quite large parking lot that I've unfortunately forgot to film.
Up to NaMuang Waterfall number 2. It's quite a steep road up here. Should be able to drive all the way, but it's not possible. Not allowed.
Then of course I realized that I could have gotten a ride with these guys. Oh well, I must admit it was a little bit confusing when I reached this place, and I wasn't exactly sure how to get to NaMuang Waterfall number 2, but at least I think I found it. But it wasn't really anything to look at, so I was wondering, is this actually the main attraction here? But then I realized it's not. The main attraction is actually the view from the top of the waterfall.
I just talked to some German guys, they told me that it's actually 45 minutes walk up here. That was a bit longer than I thought. And you can walk on the left side and on the right side, they said. Left side 45 minutes. Right side, they used 2 hours to find it, so I hope I'll find it. Oh, let's see. I'm a little bit scared that I have chosen the right side now, which takes 2 hours. I'm definitely not ready for a 2-hour trek today. But I should definitely have done my homework a little bit better here. So I'm turning around, not ready for a long hike today. But I guess if you do decide to go on this hike, you will walk alongside the waterfall all the way up, and you can see a little of it here.
So if you do decide to go on this hike, at least when you get down again, there are a few places where you can relax a bit. So next place I wanted to visit was the Tanim Magic Garden, which was quite a bit further into the mountains. And up here, it seemed that I was the only one driving a normal car. Everybody else was on some kind of tour or driving a 4-wheel drive. The entrance fee to this garden is only 100 baht. And as soon as you walk down into it, you realize why it's called a magic garden. Because with its small shrines, statues and waterfalls, the atmosphere is really special. It's not a very big park, so I guess 30 to 40 minutes is plenty of time to see the whole thing. But I really enjoyed walking around here, so I can definitely recommend a stop here if you're in the area. So by now I was getting really hungry, and I had planned to have a late lunch at a really nice restaurant called the Giant Summit. But then this happened.
Almost at the Giant Summit, I think. Kødder du? Closed every 1st and 16th. And today is the 16th. Yes. Okay, I think there's another restaurant a little further up. Let's drive on so we can find it.
You're back on
Well, I'm actually not that sad that this happened, because this gave me the chance to visit another restaurant that was just up the street. That turned out to be this place. And here as well, it seemed that I was the only one driving a normal car. It also turned out that all the other tourists left just before I arrived, so I had the whole restaurant to myself. But with this view, I certainly didn't mind. And for lunch, I kinda went with what has become my default go-to dish when I don't have any real plans, a delicious pad thai. So the Seaview restaurant also have this nice looking pool that I think you can use for a small fee, although I didn't really check it out. They also have this place for some reason. Dinosaur Park. Wow. This is nice for smaller children, I guess. So that concluded my day out exploring the mountains in the south. But as we are talking about cool places to have lunch, I want to show you another restaurant, which I actually visited my first day on the island when I was out checking out my new rental car. And that's the Cocoon Restaurant, located on a hill with great views over Chaweng and the airport. The Cocoon has plenty of parking just down from the restaurant itself, but do note that the roads here are quite steep. And I guess the name comes from this really strange entrance part. When I arrived, I got a really nice place outside. And my pina colada mocktail was actually free, because I had taken a picture of a flight magazine on the plane down from Bangkok. It didn't take very long though before we saw some really scary clouds coming towards us. And soon the staff started frantically to prepare for what was coming our way. And when this turned into this, suddenly I was all alone outside while enjoying a really delicious papaya salad as well as the nice weather. While everybody else had seek refuge inside. So the food at this place is absolutely delicious, but it's not a budget place though, so the prices are a little bit above average. So before we check out the nightlife in Chaweng, let's go and check out some elephants. I really wanted to visit an ethical elephant sanctuary, and my choice fell on Samui Elephant Haven, where I booked a morning session which lasted from 9 to 12 o'clock. I was picked up around 8:30 at my hotel, then we picked up a few more people before we drove the short distance from Chaweng up to the sanctuary. When we arrived, we signed in and paid the 3,000 baht fee in cash. Then we watched a safety video before we got an introduction to the place.
I would like to let you know that our park, we don't have any types of the activity to entertain our guests. Here no elephant riding, no elephant show, no elephant bathing, or we don't even jump into the mud and eat elephant massage. Most of the time is information, elephant fact, elephant story. Into the evening.
Then we got those facts and stories from a very knowledgeable guide, which was really interesting. Before it was time for a little feeding session. After the feeding, we went to visit the first male elephant in the park. And the thing with male elephants is that they can be aggressive, especially in the mating season. So they have to be kept separate from the rest of the herd, and also they cannot be used for feeding and stuff like that. This of course makes it much more expensive to keep a male elephant than other types of elephants. So a sanctuary that actually save male elephants as well, in spite of the extra cost, should be given extra credit. Anyway, for us it was on to a new feeding session similar to the first one. Before we were ready for a cooking class.
And before we start cooking,
So first a little nutrition information before we got to try it out ourselves.
into tiny pieces, please do it. But if not, you can start mixing. Or in a sticky if you can.
And then I thought I was finished, but no, we had to make them into small meatballs. And then I was sure I was finished, but of course I had forgotten the seasoning.
This one is the mom of the baby complaining. Okay.
Voila!
Disgusting. They have
Then all that was left was the serving. Our next activity turned out to be the highlight of the day, or even my whole Koh Samui trip. Because after meeting this 60-year-old grandma, our guide wanted to volunteer. I had no idea what he wanted me to do, but I stepped forward. And it turned out that he wanted me to lead this grandma up a little hill and over to the edge of a pool. This experience really made my day, and it was an amazing feeling to get so up and close to this amazing animal. On our way back again, we stopped by another two elephants that had to be kept separate because of their traumatic past, before we ended up with a really nice lunch back where we started. And that concluded a very interesting half day here at Samui Elephant Haven. So then let's check out the nightlife, and then of course we have to go back again to Chaweng. If you just want a relatively quiet evening with some beers and some food, there are plenty of bars/restaurants in the main street, some of which have live music. But when you start looking at specific places, you can't really get around the Ark Bar, which has become kind of an institution in Chaweng. Located smack in the middle of the most busy area, it's easy to find its entrance from the main street. And after a nice little stroll towards the beach, you enter this very popular beach club. On the right side here you will find a cafe/snack bar, and on the left side a really nice lounge and pool area. If you want a bit more of a party feel though, you should head down to the beach, where the atmosphere is really nice and the drinks list long and with okay prices, I guess. And down here the party vibe gradually increases throughout the night with the good help of a great fire show and an amazing DJ. If you want to continue your night after the Ark Bar, you should head up to the main nightlife area, which is located inside a small alley called Soy Green Mango. In this alley you will find many different kinds of places. You have an Irish pub on the left side here, you have this huge pool bar, you have a couple of go-go bars, and for the more normal late night places you have Hush, which has been there for many years. This is a very popular kind of a bar dance club. And right across from Hush you have a huge nightclub called the Green Mango, which also actually gives its name to this soy. This club has been there for many years and used to be the go-to club here in Chaweng. But lately though it has gotten fierce competition, so maybe it's not that many people here as it used to be. And the competition comes from the Sound Club just around the corner. And although I'm not an expert on Chaweng nightlife, it might look like this is the new go-to club in Chaweng, but I'll let you be the judge of that. Although you might not notice it when you're there, a lot of the Sound Club is actually outside, so I'm not quite sure how they handle it if it rains though. Anyway, here's the drink list. Just outside the Sound Club there are a few girly bars, but they never seem to have any customers though. So, before we go hunting for the secret White Lotus beach, let's visit Fishermans Village, which is also a very popular place to stay on Koh Samui. And the people who stay here are drawn by its beautiful beach and a very lively and atmospheric city center. A few things to notice in Fisherman's Village. The entrance gate is the start of the walking street that leads you down towards the beach and the iconic fishing boat on land. This is also the start of the busy part of the walking street, which includes shops and restaurants. Almost at the end of the walking street you will find Coco, which is a very popular beach club with a famous fire show. And on the road just down from Coco you will find a similarly famous Friday night market, which gets really crowded. So let's then have a little look at these places. I guess the difference between this walking street and the main street in Chaweng is that this one is much more intimate and atmospheric, and of course with no traffic. Another advantage is of course that all the restaurants on one side of the road has great views over the beach. It also has this little piazza that turns into a snack market in the evening. Then you have the beach club Coco with its famous fire show that starts at 7 o'clock every night. This place has become really popular in social media lately, and I wanted to reserve a seat here for the next day just in case it got full before the show. But I didn't want to sit inside the restaurant, I wanted to sit at one of these benches so I could have a great view over the beach. But it turned out that I had a 2000 baht minimum spent for these seats, so I wasn't really sure. But then I thought, what the hell, I really wanted to see this fire show and I wanted a good seat. So the next day I showed up to my reserved seat 1 hour before the show was to start. And I was really looking forward to it, but then this happened. Yes, it didn't really look good for the fire show, and when they even had to evacuate the DJ booth, well, my hopes weren't very high. But fortunately things like this do pass in Thailand, so after about 45 minutes covering inside, things started to look good again. And the beach started gradually to fill up again. And just as I was served rather disappointing Phuket lobster, which I actually basically had to order to cover up my minimum spend, well, I could start enjoying the fire show. And although I had seen a lot of this at the Arc Bar a couple of days earlier, they also had some other stuff that was really impressive. So I can really recommend an evening here at Coco, whether you want to relax on the beach with a drink or have some food. Although maybe my experience with the food here wasn't that great though, but you can definitely not complain about the atmosphere. Anyway, this place also have a second floor, where they have some more seats for the restaurant and an indoor bar and lounge, just in case you need some air condition. So let's go across the street and have a look at the Friday night market. And although it's called the Friday night market and I visited on a Friday, do check out if they're on other days of the week as well. So this is a typical tourist market, and I think for me the most interesting area was the one in the back, where they have a huge selection of street food and drinks. So you can definitely plan your dinner and drinks at this place. And do check out the 99 baht cocktail stalls. They are everywhere. So just a little tip if you come here by car. There's actually quite a large parking lot right next to the night market. And I was told to get here at the latest 5 o'clock on a Friday evening. Which I did, and at that time it was getting quite full, so I think this was a good tip. So, time to go hunting for the secret White Lotus beach. If you have watched the third season of the White Lotus, you might know that it was filmed here on Koh Samui, on the very northwestern tip, where you can find, well, the White Lotus, aka the Four Seasons Resort. This is where Parker Posey, Patrick Schwarzenegger, Amy Lou Wood, Lisa from Blackpink and all the rest of the cast did their thing in the third season. And I wondered how close I could get to this place. On the map I had found this little beach, and it seemed to have some kind of path leading down to it. I had no idea if it was possible to get down there, but I wanted to find out. From the map I figured out it was probably possible to drive all the way to a little place called Barrel Bar, and from there I could probably walk. So I headed out from Chaweng on the main road, and turned right into this narrow road that led me towards Barrel Bar. So finally found a little parking space here, just close to this little restaurant, so let's go explore. Barrel Bar is a really cool place, but I think it's better to stop by there on our way back. And by the way, there is one more tourist attraction in this area, a monk cave, but I was not interested in that. I wanted to find the beach. So I started out with this really steep road. Yeah, starting up with a really steep hill. Jesus, this is the steepest I've seen so far. Would not be good for a car or even a motorbike. Shit, this is like climbing. About 10,000 mosquitoes coming up on the right side. Let's move. So after passing the top of this little hill and reaching the place where the path to the beach should have started, something wasn't quite right. So it seems like a dead end and you have to walk this way. But the map shows the road to the beach is actually down this way. So at this stage I must admit I was thinking about turning around. But then... yes, it was the White Lotus calling on me. So I thought I better go for it. Okay, let's hope there's no snakes here. Shit. It looks like a path of some kind. Maybe that's why it's a secret beach. Difficult to find. I'm wearing my boot sandals, so it's okay. It's quite far as well, so let's see what we'll find. Oh shit. Should I turn around or not? Yeah, I must admit I was thinking about turning around several times during this little safari. But then after about 15-20 minutes, it finally happened. OMG. Nice. Yeah, definitely worth it. And there I was, all alone on a secret beach right next to the White Lotus.
can get some drone action going.
In the corner of the beach was a huge tree that was just perfect as cover from the sun.
So this is actually one of the things I like best about traveling alone, when I can explore nature and find places where there's just me and no one else, and beautiful nature, water. We can just enjoy the quiet, just enjoy our own company. It really gives me a kind of a peace of mind, I guess you can say. I want to stay here for a long time, but I forgot my water. So I guess I have to head back soon. Too bad. Bye-bye beach. Now into this mess again.
Yes, it was a real rookie mistake to forget my water in the car. But of course, then again, the visit to Barrel Bar would be even nicer. And Barrel Bar is definitely a place I can recommend if you just want to get away from all the tourists for a while and just relax. So, lastly, let's have a look at the place I stayed during my 4-day visit. As I already shown you, Samui is located both directly on the beach and on the main street, although a little bit outside the most busy area. One of the reasons I picked it was actually that it had a nice and free parking lot for my rented car, which actually came with a really nice car as well. Down from the reception area, there's a path leading down to the pool and the beach. On one side here you will find the rooms that I stayed in, and on the other side they had some freestanding bungalows. Of course, the selling point of these resorts are always their pool area and their beach area, and given that I didn't really use any of them, I could probably have saved a lot of money if I just stayed on the other side of the main road, without direct beach access. The dining area is nicely located down by the beach. The breakfast served here is quite basic. It has what you need, but not much more. I'm not really that picky when I travel alone though, so it was okay. And you can definitely not complain about the view from the breakfast area.
So this is my room here at Samui Natien. A little bit dated, but size is good. The balcony is small, has no furniture unfortunately, so it's can't really sit here unless you bring some other furniture outside. And view of the sea is non-existent. So bathroom is just an ordinary bathroom.
Well, I guess that's all from Koh Samui at this time, and I leave you with my best experience from this trip. See you in the next one.